Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Now this is going to be a video response to a thread started by Rockboy680, basically where he took like classic well-known double albums and can cut them down to single album releases. So he's done I think 9 albums. I'm just going to do 5 off off my personal favourite double albums, ones that I am very familiar with. Of course, there are many more other ones that I could have could have chosen from, but I just decided to go with these 5 because these are 5 that I know and love really well. That's something what James said as well. He only went with 9 what he thought were his favourites. So so the 5 albums what I'm going to look at are the Beatles White Album, ELO Out of the Blue, Pink Floyd's The Wall, Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and George Harrison's All Things Must Pass. Although there's a triple album, I just like to think of it as a double album. But incidentally, those were those 5 that James talked about as well, but we share a very similar music taste anyway. So I will just get started with going over the White Album here. So this is 30 tracks on it. I'm going to take it, that's 30 halved is 15. So the 15 tracks that I would keep on here are Back in the USSR. I think that's a great opener. Dear Prudence just goes into Dear Prudence really well. Oobla Dee Oobla Da. You notice I have got rid of Glass Onion. That's still a great song. That was a hard one to get rid of because it was one of my favourites, but I've got rid of that one. Oobla Dee Oobla Da is staying. While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Happiness is a Warm Gun. Moth My Day. I'm So Tired. Rocky Raccoon. Don't Pass Me By. I Will. And then the track so I do prefer the first disc of the White Album, as you can probably see, because the 10 of my 15 choices are from the first disc, or the first disc of the White Album. And then from the second disc I would choose Birthday, Mother Nature's Son, Everybody's Got Something to Hide Except for Me and My Monkey, Helter Skelter, and Savoy Truffle. So those are the ones that I'm choosing to keep on it. I have got rid of some of the slightly tracks that are considered filler for a lot of people, because that's what I always thought. I thought that this would always be better as a single album. Until fairly recently, we'd actually heard it all the way through. I'd heard it all the way through before, but it was actually when I was going down to see Paul McCartney here, with my dad, we were stuck in this this traffic jam. And for about an hour or so, and we just listened to the White Album all the way through, and I just love the way it flows. I mean, even the slightly sillier tracks like Piggies and Bungalow Bill and Honey Pie, they were really fun. But as a single album, those tracks for me personally would have to go for the slightly stronger the stronger material. But I must say this album definitely, and actually all the albums what I'm going to show here, I think should stay as double albums. So that's the first one. Next one I'm going to look at is Electric Light Orchestra's Out of the Blue here from 1977. I think this is from. So this was a really hard one to decide. This was 17 tracks on here, so that's all for 17 is 8.5. So I'm just gonna do 9, make my life a little bit easier. So so first thing first, so I'm gonna have to keep the whole concerto for a rainy day, and I know that will be a controversial choice because I know for a fact that James got rid of about 3 of the tracks from side 3, but I think that is an integral part of this album here. That's whole 20 minutes, but for me it's something the best 20 minutes of music I've ever heard. Really, it's just they all flow into one another. It's brilliant, the whole side 3. So that's to say, so those are the songs: Standing in the Rain, Big Wheels, Summer and Lightning, and of course Mr. Blue Sky. So that's already 5 of my 9 choices, that's 4 of my 9 choices. So there's 5 tracks left. So the 5 ones that I would choose to keep are Turn to Stone, which I think is a great opener. It's Over. I'm keeping Night in the City. I'm keeping Stepping Out, and then also Birmingham Blues is staying as well. So I hear your gasps that I've got rid of Wild West Hero and Sweet Talker Woman. I love those songs, but I can't. tend to say that I've overheard them just a tad. They're still brilliant to listen to, but they're not ones what I play excessively. Like, I mean, Turn to Stone, I love that song. I mean, like, I could play that like all day long. But Sweet Talking Woman, maybe not. So, right, but this was a really, really hard one. But like, as a double album, it's brilliant. Like, there's almost no filler on here at all. It's maybe like only about about 3 songs what I could do without like on this album, on this album. But it is really, really brilliant. Next one is that's quite hard actually for me, is Pink Floyd's The Wall. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this album, to be honest with you. I mean, this wouldn't even feature in like the top 5 Pink Floyd albums, and like I made this list, there were 26 songs on here, and like I had to somehow get that down to 13, which I like, actually only managed to get down to 12 tracks on it, what I actually like as like separate songs. I mean, like this album here, like it does tell like a story, so like I suppose it does need like the double album to fully like work. But I do think that like that this one could have been cut down to like a single album, and like if like they'd condensed the story and made it a bit less complex. But this is Pink Floyd after all, they like to complicate things. So so tracks on here what I would keep are In the Flesh. That one is like one of my favourites on here, just a fantastic riff, really, really heavy song. I love that one. The Happiest Days of Our Lives and Another Brick in the Wall Part 2, although they are separate songs, I mean, I do think that they go together, they just marry each other perfectly, and like both of them I have to stay. Song Mother is brilliant as well. Goodbye Blue Sky is staying as well. I love the vocal harmonies on that one, and the acoustic guitar. Really, really nice soft song. I love it. Young Lust, a great rocker. Another Brick in the Wall Part 3 is that's slightly harder rock version of Another Brick in the Wall Part 2. And that's keeping that one. Keeping Hey You as well, which is a great song. Nobody Home is a fantastic ballad. Comfortably Numb, of course, that has to stay. Run Like Hell and Waiting for the Worms. And I couldn't think of a 13th choice for this album here, so I'm just going with like those 12 songs. So like I said though, like I'm not a huge fan of this album here. Like I tend to find that this has some of Pink Floyd's best material on it. Comfortably Numb, Hey You, Another Brick in the Wall, but also some crap on here as well. So this is a mixed bag for me, and it's probably like the only album here where I can say could like truly that would have been maybe like a bit stronger had it been like a single album. But I do like understand though, like it is telling a story. It is a double album. Like that's basically like it's not just a simple case of get rid of that track, and that track. I mean, because then it would just lose all all its meaning and purpose really. So I'll now move on with next one here, Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road here. I've had this one for quite a while now. I've actually got 2 copies of it. Like one of them is my dad's up there, and this was one I got off my auntie. So there are 17 tracks on here. I had to get this down to 9 tracks. So the songs I'm going to keep on here are Funeral for a Friend / Love Side Breeding. That is just like one track of about 10 minutes in length. I mean, that's the way like it's always listed on like CD copies and everything. That's not 2 separate songs. That's one song. So that's one. Candle in the Wind has to stay. As does Benny and the Jets and Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Like those are like the huge hits on this album. This song has no title, is staying as well. Grey Seal is brilliant. So guys, actually that's like the first 6 songs on here, which are like which I'm keeping. Then for me it's like then for me the album like goes down a little bit, but then just pick up like towards the end where I am keeping the songs. The Ballad of Danny Bailey and Saturday Night's Alright for Fighting, and The Closer Harmony, which is a fantastic song. So guys, once again, like this just does work as like a double album. It has to be a double album for me, and I kind of like those are like the picks as like the songs where I will keep if this was to be a single album. And the final one I'm going to discuss will be George Harrison's All Things Must Pass. I did actually ponder doing John Lennon's Sometime in New York City, but I haven't got a copy of that, and to be honest with you, I would happily get rid of, to be honest, about 3/4 like off the album, because it is mostly Yoko's crap on it. But anyway, we will do it. We will do George Harrison's All Things Must Pass. Probably my favourite solo Beatles album. This is just amazing. So the songs on here, what I would keep, I had to go from 18 down to 9, and the ones I would keep on here are I'd Have You Anytime, the opener. I just think that works really well as like an opener, really nice soft song, love it. My Sweet Lord, of course it has to stay. Wah Wah, fantastic rocker. Isn't it a pity? But with this one though, I would have to shorten it. It is about 7 minutes on here. Shorten it down to about 5 minutes, and it would be perfect. But it just seems to go on and on and on, that song, and like that kind of like, and that's not what I listen to that regularly, simply because it just goes on and on. Then I'd also keep What Is Life, Behind That Locked Door, Run Off the Mill, Beware of Darkness, and All Things Must Pass. So I definitely prefer like the first disc of like this album here. Like side 1 is perfect, and side 2 is like brilliant as well. Side 3 is great as well, and side 4 is like there's still some great songs in it, but it's just not as brilliant as like the other sides. So so although this is a triple album, the Apple Jam, like I remember reading somewhere that this was actually like when it was like first on sale, like it was just priced at like the normal price of like a double album, and like the Apple Jam was effectively like given away free with it, which I thought was like quite interesting. I'm not too sure if like that's true, but I just remember reading somewhere like about that. So it's like 9 tracks I'll keep for this album here. But once again, this has to be a double album. It has to stay as like a double album, and it's a brilliant album, the best solo Beatles album, I think. And George is just really, really like underrated, and he doesn't get the appreciation what he deserves. So that is like all the albums what I'm going to go over with this video. I know that James when he done is he also talked about The Who's Tommy and Quadrophenia, which I both love. I mean, although I haven't got copies of yet, I am just getting into The Who, so like those are like definitely on like my high priority list to get on vinyl. He also done Layla, Derek and the Dominoes, which shortly after his video that I listened to that on that YouTube, and I thought that was brilliant. So when I get enough money, that is definitely one that I'm going to buy. And then he also done Fleetwood Mac, Tusk, and maybe another one I can't quite remember. So definitely check out James's video. I will leave a link to it in the description below. And of course subscribe to him. I mean, like I'm sure you all are, but because he's one like the most popular people like on like the VC on YouTube, and right, yeah, so just check out his channel, check out his video, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.